Hey everyone, it is Shiny here, and today I am in the mission editor, as you can see, and this is the Sinai map. Today I wanted to show you how to make a BVR practice mission, and if you watched the video I made a while back, or last month, maybe about the BVR and the Tomcat, I was using this BVR practice mission that I usually use that I made where I can jump in and choose which plane I want to be in, basically with different missile loadouts or a couple different aircraft. And then once I get in the plane, I can use the F10 menu to choose, who am I gonna fight. And then, after you do that, you can just restart the mission and choose somebody else. So it's a really convenient way to just get some practice reps in. It's just like, okay, here we go, we're starting like 60 miles apart. I'll fight this guy, and you fight that guy, restart. Okay, I'm going to fight this guy, and you can just if you don't have much time, you just want to get some practice reps in. It's a really convenient little mission to make, and it's really easy to make. And I know a lot of people don't spend a lot of time in the mission editor. Some people do spend a lot of time in the mission editor. I tend to spend a good bit of time in the mission editor, but some people really never get into it, or never figure it out, or never give it much try. But once you get into it, it's not hard. It's nothing difficult. This is a really easy mission to make, and I already have this mission on the Syria map. That's where I usually use this kind of mission. So I thought I would make one for this example on the Sinai map. And I like to fly over this area down here on the actual Sinai Peninsula itself. This very kind of a rocky and hilly, mountainous area down here. So that's where I'm going to set things up. And see, there's plenty of space. Sinai map is actually quite big. It's a large area. Probably we're going to start everything about 60 miles apart, right? So I'll start my aircraft up here, and we'll put the red aircraft down here. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do, let's put down a plane. So as you know, I'm a Tomcat guy, so I'm going to start with a Tomcat. Why can't I type today? Okay. And you'll see what this means in a second. I called it F-14B Load B, but of course, you can name your aircraft whatever you want. Just make sure that it's easy for you to understand what it is. The reason I called this F-14B Load B is because I'm going to have planes with different missile loadouts, and that's what I need. And I name my missile loadouts like Load A, Load B, Load C, like that, so I can easily know what that is. Okay. So anyway, we throw the plane down on the map. That's where I'm going to start most of my planes from. Altitude, let's start from we'll start everything from 20,000 feet. Start about 400 knots. Okay. Now let's go in here and need to choose your missile loadout. And you might not care about what livery you're sporting, but I do. I care about what livery I'm sporting. What are we going to wear? You know what? Because I'm usually in multiplayer, so in multiplayer I don't usually use non-default skins because I want everybody to see what I'm wearing, but of course I can in here. So I'll use one of the Black Lion skins that come with Reflected's Speed and Angels campaign. I use 200. I like that one right there. Yeah, we'll use that one for the B. Okay, let's see. So. I want my load B. It's actually load BP, but load B. Load B for me means four Phoenixes, 2 Sparrows, and 2 sidewinders. That's my load B. Load C is what I use when I'm fighting other Fox 3 aircraft. So if I'm fighting more modern Vipers and Hornets and Western things like that, like Strike Eagles, or if I'm fighting R-77 armed Russian planes or J-17s, anything modern Fox 3. I'm not going to bother with Sparrows. Then I want 2 sidewinders instead, 2 more sidewinders instead of having the 2 Sparrows. But we're going to load this one with B loadout. So that's good to go. I'm not going to start with, I want to start with 80% fuel. I'm going to start with 80% fuel. Okay, so there we are, and we got to get this guy pointed in the right direction. So we'll put the waypoint here. It's not important. It's just to get me starting flying in the correct direction. Okay. All right, and just to give a quick example, I'm not going to put every possible plane that we could put down, but when you do this, you can put as many planes down as you want to for yourself. Just make sure you're putting these as client. So that means when you go into the mission, just like in multiplayer, you're going to have a list of planes to choose from, and then you can choose which one you want. So make sure they're all set to client and not player. Okay, so that was my F-14B. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste, right? Copy and paste, and then we have the same altitude and speed settings, the same waypoint setting, right? All that's good. Then what I need to do is just change the plane. So I'm going to keep this one F-14B still, and we're just going to change the loadout. This is going to be load C. So I'm just going to change the name, load C, F-14B load C. And I'm not going to worry about changing the pilot name. That in a multiplayer mission or something, you need to keep track of things and use for certain triggers. That's important. But in this mission, that's not important. I don't have to change that. Just change the group name so I can see it when I choose the aircraft. Okay. So this is going to be F-14B load C, and everything else stayed the same. Okie doke. Copy and zoom in a little bit. Copy and paste again. So this time I am going to change. This is going to be a F-14A, right? So we're going to change this to F-14A. And this is going to be an F-14A with load B. And we got the same altitude. We got speed went back to 430. We're going to put that back to 400. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to try to be consistent. All right, we're going to have to put the fuel back down to 80 for this guy, and we're going to choose, let's go down here, choose load B again. Not a super fan of this livery, definitely. Let's choose a better one. Again, I can use one of the non-default skins, and for the A, when I go non-default, I do often go reflected. But in this case, there's a different Desert Storm era VF-114 Aardvark skin that I'm going to use for this one. Okay, so there we go. We got this guy, F-14A load B. Cool. And so just for demonstration purposes, let's put a different plane in here too. When I do this practice, I don't always only fly the Tomcat. I do practice occasionally with Hornet or Mirage or Viper, but to be honest, I haven't practiced with the Viper in a long time. And I rarely do air-to-air in the Hornet. Just usually Seed and Laser Mavericks and stuff like that. But occasionally. Okay, but anyway, just for demonstration purposes, we'll make this guy a Hornet. So change that name, F-18. Yeah, I'm only going to put one in, and I don't have F-18 loads, air-to-air loads named in a way that I really remember. So we'll just call it F-18. Hey, do you know that Danger Close has their own skins? They do, but the port numbers are messed up on these. Let's see. Let's do a different one. How about that one? VFA 27 Royal Maces. That's a pretty cool one. Okay. So, shoot. Do I have air-to-air loadouts? I do. Don't need gas, certainly. Okay. There's an air-to-air loadout, which still has gas, and I don't need gas. So, there's an air-to-air loadout. Okay. So we have an F-18, we have some F-14s. That's setting up your aircraft, all right? They're all clients. They're all starting at 20,000 feet. They're starting at 400 knots. They're heading in this direction, heading 137. Okay, so that's cool. Now we need some bad guys in our mission. So let's drop in a bad guy and see. The first bad guy is going to be MiG-21s, old reliable MiG-21s. So when I name these, what I do is, because I might have different MiG-21s and they might be a 2-ship or a 4-ship like that. So I'll say MiG-21 times what? Times 4. So this is going to be that one. MiG-21 times 4. We're going to set him as ace because we want, we want these to be challenging, right? And yeah. Well, we can't change that yet. Let's see. We'll put him about 63 miles away, or a little more. Right, coming from down here. Let's see. How about intercept? Intercept and cap, I mean, if you have him coming towards you, it really doesn't matter. They're going to attack you either way. But I'll just set it for intercept. So we are also going to put him with basically the same waypoint. So he's heading right for us in the same direction. Now, what altitude? When I do this and have different red aircraft, I'll have them starting from different altitude. Like, not everybody needs to be the same. But, yeah, we'll just say 25 for this guy, for this example. He can start at 25. Not going to be USA. These need to be red, do they not? Okay. Yeah, throw some kind of skin on him. We're in the Sinai, so we can make these Egyptian MiG-21s. That'd be cool. And we'll start them with full. We'll start these guys with full fuel because we want them to be dangerous. And let's see. Actually, I think I'm going to change intercept to cap because I think that gives more of these. Okay, there is. Yeah, and MiG-21s, you don't need to put any radar missiles on them. I mean, their radar missiles suck. So we'll just give them all IR. And that looks like a pretty fair load, right? 6, what are these? R60s? Yeah, 6 R60s, right? That's a chill load. That'll be challenging if we have four of them. So we're going to boom, 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 go up to 4 MiG-21s. Okay, so we got 4 MiG-21s, ace, 25,000, speed 430, they're starting, okay? Now, this is an important part. This is a very important thing. So when we're setting up the red aircraft, right? When we set up the blue aircraft, they're all clients, so we can choose. When we're setting up the AI red aircraft, because we are going to choose which one we want. These are not going to be automatically starting. So we got to click the late activation button. That's absolutely 100% necessary. Late activation for all the red aircraft, okay? So we're going to click that, and that guy is ready to go. So we're going to just, as we do, we're going to copy and paste. And we're going to move that waypoint over to the center. So now we have this one, not going to be MiG-21s. Let's get these guys to be something else. What do we want? MiG-29, that's another old reliable. Let's have a 2-ship of MiG-29s. So we just got to go up here and adjust the name. Don't worry about the pilot name, it's not important, but just to be more correct, I'll go ahead and do it. So we got the 2 MiG-29s. Let's make that 2 instead of 1. Let's make it 1 until I adjust their livery. We're going to make this guy Egyptian also. There we go. Egyptian Air Force Desert. That's cool. And there we go. So now we have a 2 ship of MiG-29s. No, scratch that. Go back to 1. The reason I go back to 1 is because I want to choose his missile loadout first. So it'll copy the missile loadout to the second aircraft. So what kind of missile loadout do we want? Do we want this guy to have R-77s? Probably, right? Want him to be difficult. So here is 4 R-77s and 2 R-73s. Yeah, we'll do that. Also, of course, we could have a different one set up with ETs or ERs. That would be okay too. But we'll make this guy 4 R-77s and 2 R-73s. Pretty challenging. Now we're going to make it a 2 ship, and that way, when we already have the livery and the missiles chosen, and then we make it a 2 ship, it will just copy that over, and I don't have to set up a second plane, right? So we want to make things easy. Copy and paste when you can. Set up the aircraft before you add the second or third aircraft. That way you don't have to do all those things manually. The mission editor doesn't have to be as time consuming as it could be. All right, we can do things quickly. Okay, anyway, I'm running off the mouth too much. So there's a MiG-29. He's also late activation. That carried over when we copied and pasted. The altitude stuff didn't. So let's start these guys even higher. They're going to start at 30,000. Okay. So again, we're going to copy and paste. We're going to put in a third choice. And okay, so these guys are going to be... you know what? Sometimes I like to fight. JF-17. Those guys are a pain. Okay, JF-17. It'll be a 2 ship. 2 ship JF-17s. I'm going to take that back down to 1 until we get it set up. I'm going to go ahead and fix the pilot name, even though it's not important. Like, you don't have to carry about that. I'm just being a little OCD about that. Okay, so let's get us a good... recently I think they added a lot more skins for the JF-17. What are we going to do? Guess they need to be Chinese. Those are proper bad guys. Let's see. Which one? Oh, I like that one, actually. That's a cool Chinese skin. That low-vis skin right there. Okay, so yeah, these guys are going to be pains. They need some, 4 SD-10s and the 2 heaters and a centerline tank. That seems about right. That seems about fair. Let's see. I'm actually going to start. I'll start these guys a little lower. We're going to start at 16,000 feet, just to mix things up. Make that a 2 ship, so all that'll copy over. And okay, you know what? I'm just going to put in the 3 red aircraft for right now because I'm just demonstrating how to make this mission. But you could keep going. Like in my missions, I have at least 7 or 8 or 9 different red groups to choose from. Right? So you don't need to stop at 3. You can fill the skies with as many as you want. Right? No problem. I'm just going to stop at 3 because this is a demonstration and it doesn't need to take a long time. So right here, for example, we have 3 enemy aircraft groups, MiG-29s, MiG-21s, and JF-17s. They're all set for late activation. So that's the key thing. I have them set for the altitudes and speeds that I want to start with. I have their loadout set as desired. So that's all cool. Now the thing is, when I get into the mission, how do I bring these aircraft to life, right? How do I get those red aircraft to activate and come at me? So that's what we have to do. We have to set up a trigger. Now, for this one, for this mission, I'm using really one of the simplest trigger methods, which is just using the F10 menu, right? And you're probably familiar with the F10 menu for sure. In a lot of missions, there are F10 options from the communications menu, and then F10 for other, and then you get some buttons you can push to do certain things. It's one of the easiest trigger systems, okay? So let's do that, right? So we're going to go to set rules for trigger. We have to set a new one. Trigger name actually does not matter, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to call it buttons because, you name things just so you can keep track of it, and you have some kind of a system of what you name things for certain situations, and it's good to keep things consistent. I'm going to call these buttons, and I'm going to be even more specific. We're going to call it red air buttons. Okay. So for this one, there is no condition. This is just something we're doing to begin with. And what do we need to do here? We need to go down to I'm thinking slowly today, guys. I'm sorry. Radio item add for coalition. That's what we're going to do. Coalition is blue, of course. And this one's going to be for the MiG-21 times 4, right? It's going to be MiG-21 times 4, and flag will be MiG-21. The value. Now, this is a thing. When you're setting up these radio menu items, whatever you call the flag is okay. Just call the flag whatever you want as long as you can remember it and it's clear. But the flag value needs to be at least 10. So make the flag value at least 10. At least that's what I remembered. I learned that like in a video a long time ago, and I assume that is still correct, that the flag value needs to be at least 10. So I'm going to stick with that. I always make the flag value at least 10. I believe that's correct. So we'll make this will be MiG-21, flag value 10. Flag is MiG-21, value is 10. That means in the radio menu, when I hit the communications, when I hit F10 for other, there's going to be a button there that says MiG-21 times 4. And when I press that button, that's going to make the flag MiG-21 go to the value of 10. Okay? Now, clone. So the next one is going to be MiG-29 times 2, right? And we're just going to call this one MiG-29. Now, if I had multiple MiG-29s, I would probably name that flag something more to distinguish between them, but I only have the one, so I'm just going to call it MiG-29. Value can be the same. MiG-29 flag value will be 10. We're going to clone that again, and this will be the... I'm just going to leave that part out. Ooh, JF7, what the heck? JF17 times 2. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to call it JF17. And the flag value is 10. So MiG-21, MiG-29, JF17. Now, make sure when we type these flag values again, or the flag names, make sure you remember your capitalization. Like I made the JF capital, but I made the MiG small. So I feel like that could be confusing. So I'm going to make the JF small. But you do what you need to do. That's just something to think about, because when you're typing in flags in the mission editor, if you miss a capital letter and a non-capital letter, it can mess things up for you. Okay. So we have those 3 radio menu items. Okay. That's good. Now we're going to make a new trigger, and this is going to be MiG-21, MiG-21 activate, okay? So for this one, the condition is flag equals, right? So when you have a radio menu and you're setting a certain flag to a certain value, it's not really complicated. You're just saying this flag goes to, and almost always the value is 10. And then that way you can have a separate trigger so that you can say when that flag value goes to 10, this happens, right? So I got calls and effect. So flag is MiG-21 and the value is 10. And now what happens when I do that? Group activate, and we activate the MiG-21 times 4. No sweat. Okay, so now again, copy and paste. We're just going to clone it, and we're going to call this one MiG-29 activate. Change that flag to MiG-29. Value is 10. And what happens is we activate the MiG-29. Clone. This one's going to be the JF-17 activate. That flag was JF-17. Value was 10. And when that happens, we're going to activate our JF-17s. Right there you have it. So we had one trigger for the buttons. I added these buttons, and there's no condition. That's just going to be when the mission, when the mission opens, those buttons will be there. And it doesn't matter if you say here mission start or just once. If there's no condition, it'll do it right away. So we got the buttons. We have 3 buttons this time just because we have 3 red aircraft. We could add as many as we want. You can keep going. And then we have 3 more triggers to activate each of those individual aircraft. So when that flag goes to 10, when this flag goes to 10, when this flag goes to 10, that happens. Okay? So you like this mission, I only have 4 triggers. It's no problem. Should probably go ahead and save this as I'm going. I recommend saving your missions. That's a good idea. So we're going to call this one let's call this one for the video because I'm making a video. Video for me, BVR, video BVR. But of course, name your mission as you desire. Just do save it. Okie doke. So one other thing that we should not forget. So we have the trigger set up. We have everything set up. It's all good. But don't forget to set up your time and weather. It defaults to something, like in the morning. That's probably all right. It's defaulting to 7 o'clock on this mission. That's fine. Morning light's cool. Although, well, I'm going to make the sun a little higher in the sky. I'm going to go 9 o'clock. And that's fine. I'm not going to include any wind. That's not about tanking or landing or something you want to challenge. We're just doing BVR practice. We don't need any wind. The clouds, it defaults to light scattered too, which is pretty light and decent. That's no problem. You can change it to whatever you want. It's not important for this mission, so we're just going to leave it on light scattered too. But don't forget to set your time and your weather conditions as desired, right? As desired. And make sure we save that again, okay? So that's cool. Like we can hop into the mission and we can see if that works out okay. Let's test it out. Oh, and I'm sorry. Actually, my track IR is not plugged in because I was just making the video and not flying. So I can't move my head around, but that's okay. It's actually better for the video, isn't it? So let's see. We can choose. There's our client aircraft, right? Now, you can make as many client aircraft as you want. You could add as many you want to the list, right? So I put 4, F-14A with the load B, F-14B, load B, F-14B, load C, and F-18. That's just what I did for this mission. You can add as many as you want. We're going to jump into that F-14B load C. Okay, and we are in the mission. So actually, I'm going to pause that for a second. Show you this sweet VF213 paint scheme on my F-14 here. This is by reflected This is from Reflected's Speed and Angels campaign, which I have not completed because I usually fly multiplayer and it's hard to keep going with the campaign. But it is great, and I love the skins for VF213 and VF31. That's really cool. Okay, enough of that. So as you can see, if we go to the F10 menu too, we are where we said we were. We're starting here on the Sinai Peninsula itself, on the northern part. And we are heading down here in this direction, right? About 137 degrees. There are no red aircraft down here. And if you don't want to see the red aircraft on the F10 menu, if you don't want to like tempt yourself into cheating, you can turn that option off in the mission editor. I didn't bother with it because I usually don't do that in practice missions. But anyway, there's no red aircraft right now because we haven't activated them yet. Okay, so let's go back into our plane. And I don't have my stick and stuff out either, so this plane might start to pitch up or something. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to unpause, and I'm just going to show you the I'm going to show you the comms menu. Okay, comms menu, F10. There we are. Now, let's say we'll choose that JF-17. F3. Oh, if you can see down there, right, I got JF-17 nails. And if we go to the F10 menu, bam, there they are. There the baddies are. 2 JF-17s. I really like that skin, right? That's a cool skin. I like it. Okay. So there's our Jeffs, right? They spawned as intended. Now, I am not a glutton for punishment. I'm not going to fight 20 aircraft at one time. But just as an example, I can go back in and I can choose the MiG-21s ×4. And if we go to the F10 menu, boom, there's our MiG-21s. Yes, sir, there's some Egyptian MiG-21s coming to kill us. I don't know what this guy's doing.
There's a Bandit 4-ship, Bra 145, 46 miles,
okay.
29,000.
So, everything working as intended. The comms menu, F10, we can spawn our Jeffs, we can spawn our MiG-21s. If we really wanted to die, you know, we want to fight every plane in the red arsenal, we'll go up here and...
oh, I got nails on our nose.
There we go. Call up the MiG-29s too. Now everybody's coming after us. There's some Egyptian MiG-29s. So now what I did, like I said, I set the opposing sides up about 60 miles apart. You can set however far away you want to. You can have a longer intercept if you want. You can set them further apart. I set up for about 60 miles, which is just about right. So I start climbing, and if I want to get a little higher, and you know, because I'm going to shoot a Phoenix first, mostly, you know, usually. So I want to have some space to get some altitude and fire from a distance. And then maneuver, as you know, as I showed in the BVR video that I made before, as we, you know, defend each other's missiles and get closer and closer, and it might end up in a close-in engagement. Anyway, that's how you make a simple BVR practice mission, guys. Let me step out of that. Go back to the mission editor. If you did want to change that so that you don't see on the F10 menu, if you don't want to see the red aircraft, so you think, well, I might cheat, I might look at the F10 menu and see where they are, just come over here, go to the mission options. And if you go to mission options, you know, where it says F10 view options. Of course, I mean, you could always turn off external views if you want. I don't know why anybody really does that, because I like to look at my plane. But you go to F10 menu options, and then you can choose My Aircraft or Allies Only. But there's no allies in this mission, so you can just say my aircraft, and then the red aircraft will not show up on the F10 map. Okay, so that's easy to change, and just save it after you make the change. Okay. All right, guys, that is all for that one. So I think I hope that's helpful, and I hope, if you don't know how to, I hope that helps you to set up a good simple practice BVR mission. If you want, if it's desired, maybe on the next video, I can show you how to set up a close-in dogfight mission. So same concept with the BVR mission. You're getting into the plane you want, and then you're choosing what aircraft you want to fight. But with the with the dogfight mission, you're going to be closer, and it's important that you spawn at the same. You want the spawn to be consistent, so you're starting from exactly the same distance each time, so that you're in that consistent position. So anyway, it's a little more. There's a couple more steps to the dogfight practice mission, but maybe I will show that next time if this video is helpful to you and folks are interested. Okay. All right. So that's all for today. Go out and make a mission and get some practice reps in, so you're ready to come over to the Danger Close server. That's what you should do. You should practice your fighting, and then you should get into multiplayer and come join us on the Danger Close server. So see you there. Have a good one.